My first return featuring CGC's new labels has finally arrived. Let's take a look at it. For this video, we're gonna work our way from the lower grades into the higher grades. So I got a ton of pristines to look at, but we're gonna take a look at those a little later. First, we're gonna take a look at what the new regular label looks like. So first up, we have this Ninetales from Soul Silver collection. This got the CGC 8. I wanted to send this one in because it was pretty mint all the way around, except, and this is gonna be hard to see, but there is a scratch/dent up here in the middle, right above the Pokeball E. It's fairly subtle, so that's why I wanted to send it in to see, you know, kind of like max grade on something with a small dent. And before, I feel like you could still hit maybe an 8.5 with a small dent. But this one here got the 8, which I feel like is completely reasonable on a card with a, you know, fairly small scratch/dent. One of the collections I picked up recently came with a Neo Premium file. And in the Neo Premium file, you get a Typhlosion, Feraligatr, and Meganium. And so I wanted to send those in because they were still in the file, brand new, looked very minty. The Typhlosion got a mint 9. Let's take a look at the label. So the label here, fairly generic looking, but I feel like they went that route on purpose because if you look at the slab, I feel like there's more of an emphasis on the card because there really isn't any potential for color clash. Where the other label was very blue, it kind of struck you first. Depending on the card, it really clashed colors with the card itself. But now just having kind of a black and white with like a gray to white slight gradient. So I really like this. I think the label looks really sleek and nice, and it doesn't detract from the card at all. This Typhlosion from the Neo Premium file got the 9. And I was lucky enough for the other two cards, the Meganium and the Feraligatr, to get the Gem Mint 10. As you guys know, or if you don't know, there are two 10s now with CGC. Not the Pristine and the Perfect anymore, but the Gem Mint 10 and the Pristine 10, which we're going to see in a bit. The difference in 10s with the scale is that Perfect and Pristine 10s are now just under the Pristine 10, and the cards that received a 9.5 Gem Mint before are now a 10 Gem Mint. There's still a 9.5 grade. It's called the Mint Plus. Now, a lot of the cards that previously would have gotten a 9.5 will now get a 10 because they're both considered Gem Mint cards. CGC, I guess, wanted to make sure that Gem Mint was a 10 just like every other company, which I think is a really great change. Now, you are going to see a lot more 10s because a lot of cards got that 9.5 grade, especially in Japanese. So a lot of those cards are going to now be getting 10s. There might be a lot of people out there like, oh, CGC is giving more 10s. It's like, well, yeah, of course they are, because a large percentage of cards prior were getting 9.5s, and those cards now on their scale are going to get this Gem Mint 10. So here you go. We have the Meganium from the Neo file got the 10, and the Feraligatr from the Neo file. They both got the 10. Super happy about that result. Would have liked for the Typhlosion to also get a 10 and have a 10 set, but it's okay. Obviously, if you guys have seen my Charizard video, I have a metric shit ton of these, and I wanted to send this in because I felt like this one had a chance at a Pristine, but this one just got the Gem Mint 10, which is totally fine. I mean, it still got a 10, so I'm still happy about it. I also had these Snorlaxes. I have a Snorlax VMAX Rainbow and a Snorlax V. I sent the V in. This one got the Gem Mint 10, and we'll see the VMAX a little bit later. And last but not least, we have our one Pokemon 151 card that got just a Gem Mint 10. The rest of them got Pristines. So we're going to take a look at those here in a second as well. But yeah, we got the Mewtwo Art Rare, got the Gem Mint 10 with CGC. Now let's jump into the Pristine 10s. People have been raving about this label, how great it looks, and I have to agree. It is fantastic. The first Pristine 10 we got was the Radiant Blastoise. Now if you look, the Pristine portion, the gold portion, is actually embossed and textured on the label, which really makes it stand out. Really is really cool looking on these cards. I also love the subtle gold behind the actual description. A lot of people, for some reason, were not really liking that right away, but I think it works really well with the big Pristine grade there. And it really emphasizes this is pristine. It feels pristine. The label feels premium, which I think is exactly what people want and what people like, for instance, from like the black labels from BGS. They think that the black feels premium for the card. I feel like this label feels premium. So our first Pristine, we got the Pokemon Go Radiant Blastoise. The next one, I feel like this card looks really good in this Pristine label. It is the CoroCoro Magazine Pikachu VMAX promo. Looks really nice in that Pristine. For some reason, I've seen people say that they felt like the plastic was like less thick. I can confirm that they have not changed the plastic at all. It's not flimsy. There is no difference in the plastic. It's just as clear. It's just as sturdy as it was before. I don't know where that rumor came from, but it's definitely not true, at least in my case with this return. Next up, we've got the Rainbow Snorlax VMAX. Again, pristine 10. Absolutely beautiful. You'll see a lot of these cards. Obviously, a lot of what I grade is Japanese. A lot of these cards are Japanese modern, and a lot of these cards did hit the pristine 10. I'm very, very happy about it, though, because the labels just look so good. They just make the card it just feels so nice. Now, we've got a slew of Pokemon 151 cards from here until the end. A lot of these are going to be Master Ball reverse holos and then some alternate arts and stuff toward the end of the pile. A lot of these cards have already sold. I listed them yesterday for what I feel like is pretty high prices, and they have already sold. So if the card is already sold, I'll let you know kind of what it sold for. Yeah, I've been very surprised by the attention that a lot of these, especially the Master Ball reverses, are getting at the prices in which I posted them for. We've got the Bulbasaur Pristine 10 Master Ball reverse. I love the Master Ball reverse. The raw copies of these cards have shot up. When I was buying them less than $10. A lot of the ones I was buying for less than $10 are now like 30 raw. Like, they have really shot up. I don't know why. I mean, they are kind of difficult to get a particular card because there is, what, 151 or 140 versions of each card. So to get that particular reverse, there's only one per box. So yeah, I can see, like, they are kind of hard to pull. I feel like Pokemon 151, though, is going to be printed into oblivion, but we'll see how that goes. We have a Squirtle reverse. This one actually already sold for $200. I bought this card for 10 bucks. If I graded it for 15, that's 25 all in, and I sold it for $200 in the pristine 10. This card is already sold, which is just fantastic. Next up, Charmeleon Master Ball reverse. I really like this artwork a lot. It's just Charmeleon looking really badass. My favorite artwork in the hobby is the Dark Charmeleon from Team Rocket, which he also looks very badass in that artwork as well. But I really like this pristine 10. The Arcanine is a non-holo uncommon in the set, but Arcanine is basically a legendary. So I was picking this card up when it was hitting like $7 a piece. I grabbed quite a few of them, I think, like maybe 4 or 5-ish, around like the $7, $8 mark. I don't know what they're going for now raw, but it's probably more than that. And the pristine has already been getting offers in like the 150 range, which is pretty just kind of nuts. But yeah, we've got the pristine 10 Master Ball reverse. We have the Gyarados Master Ball reverse, another card that I was purchasing multiple of around the $7 or $8 mark. Absolutely beautiful. Another card that has offers around 150 right now. I'm trying to meet people in the middle. I have a lot of these listed for $200. I thought that was a really high post to list them at $200, and I figured I would, I would take offers as they came in, but people are offering really high, like pretty close to where I'm listing them for. So right now I'm just trying to maximize on my return. Now we have the Charmander Art Rare. I really like this Charmander. The artwork is fantastic. This one got the pristine 10 as well. Absolutely awesome. I was really surprised to see that all my Pokemon 151 cards got the pristine 10s, but I was really judicious in pre-grading these cards. So I'm kind of surprised because of the quality of these cards, but I'm also not really surprised because I held a lot of cards back from sending that looked a lot worse than these cards. So now we have the Dragonair. In my opinion, the Dragonair is one of the most underrated arts from Pokemon 151. I love this. It's very reminiscent of catching the Dratini after you face the final gym in the original games in like the Dragon Temple place that you go to catch. And it really kind of sucked that you caught Dratini so late because then you really had to grind to get Dragonite. This is really reminiscent of that area you go in the game. And Dragonair is just one of the better designed Pokemon probably ever, in my opinion. Just absolutely fantastic. Has amazing artwork going all the way back to the beginning of the card series. Next, we have 2 of the pristine 10 Pikachus. I actually sold one of these already for $180, which is awesome, and we have one more to go. So we have 2 pristine 10 Pikachu art rares. A little surprised that these ones got pristine 10, at least this one. This one, to me, is a bit more off-center, top to bottom. Not crazy, still within what I would say PSA's like 60-40 rule for a PSA 10 would be, but it is pretty off-center top to bottom. That is personally why I'm glad that they got rid of the term perfect, because I feel like in the past we've seen cards like this get perfect 10s, and then everyone's like, oh my god, CGC, why would you give this card a perfect? And I feel like actually getting rid of the word perfect from your grade is probably a great idea, because whenever we had cards that didn't look perfect, it kind of looked bad on CGC. It sucks for resellers like me, because I could sell the crap out of a perfect label, but I think that scrapping that term was a good idea for the future of CGC cards. Last but not least, we have 2 of the SARs, the special art rares from Pokemon 151. We have the Alakazam EX, which just sold this morning for $260 in a pristine 10. Absolutely crazy. And we have the Blastoise EX special art rare, which has yet to sell. It's up on eBay, but pristine 10. Let me know what you guys think about the new CGC labels in the comments below. Obviously, I am in love with them. I think they look great. It'll be interesting to see how the secondary market accepts them. But so far, my 151 cards are selling like hotcakes out of the gate.